traffic injection for Sayintentions.AI ATC in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, this is massive. What's really exciting is I'm going to be able to show you what it's all about and actually give you a proper one-to-one demonstration of the traffic injection. Now, for those that don't know, what is Sayintentions.AI? Sayintentions.AI is air traffic control, artificial intelligence, that is a bit of software that interfaces with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, 2024, and the X-Plane series. The traffic injection is just for Microsoft Flight Simulator though, and it basically gives you the full sense and immersion of having air traffic control in-game. Now, the traffic injection part of this puzzle is the ability for you to actually have the traffic that's on the ground and in the air being accounted for correctly. I guess there's nothing more immersion breaking than I'm taxiing down the runway. I've got ATC communicating to me. I'm about to taxi out and take off, and all of a sudden an aircraft in-game might just go straight through me and basically take my spot. So that's kind of okay, you just deal with it, but there is no way of the AI being able to determine those other elements of traffic. It just doesn't know where they are. That is exactly where the traffic injection comes in. It is actually sequencing and understanding where the traffic is in relation to what you're doing in game. Now, at the moment, please remember it's alpha. This is early days. There's bugs that need to be ironed out and stuff that's being worked on. You can get access to this if you are a premium subscriber with a monthly subscription and you pay a one-time $50 payment to be part of the partner program. I think that's a really good deal. It gives you early access to it, and you can actually be a part of building that community and helping with any of the bugs and developing it. Please also remember though that this at the minute is really only going to be functioning for the big airliners, the commercial aircraft. I think there's some smaller aircraft where it'll be dealing with those as well in the game, but with any of the small aircraft and any of the GA, they're not being sequenced yet, but that stuff is coming. So the traffic injection, the sequencing, the patterns, that stuff is coming for those smaller aircraft, but this is going to be crazy. I can't believe that we're actually going to have real air traffic control, that we're actually going to have AI, ATC, sequencing and handling traffic. This is going to be crazy. So unlike my normal videos, I will be taking off from pretty heavily trafficked airports so we can get a full feel and sense of immersion from what the AI traffic is going to do. This should be a good one. You know the drill. Like and subscribe. Share these videos with all your crazy friends, and let's get into the video.
Now, before we jump into a live flight, I thought we'd quickly have a look at some of the features and the settings. Now, again, I have to stress this is early days, it's alpha. So there are some little glitches and some stuff going on, but if you want to partake in this and be amongst, I guess, helping get this really functioning to a fully fledged traffic injection system, you can pay that one-time fee if you've got a premium subscription, and you can have access to this. So we've got traffic density. This is basically going to give us as many aircraft as possible within the game. And I've got this cranked up to 11. I've played around with some settings, and it can take a while for the aircraft to pop into game. So I normally like to load up, sit on the tarmac for a little bit and just wait, and you'll actually see some stuff sort of popping in. And once it's kicked in, it's running really good. Now, they do mention in the instructions about setting all this up to turn all radio chatter off. So I'm not sure if they're meaning this one as well, but I have got that turned off. And I'll show you something else. If we go to the General tab, no, not the General tab. We'll go to, I think it was, yeah, Multiplayer. Amount of chatter. Turn this off as well. This is really important. We want to basically turn off anything to do with multiplayer aircraft, any additional elements of, I guess, augmented chatter to make the game feel more real, because we've got the AI injected traffic. So that is the realism element. Now, we'll go back to the preview, and these little question marks are really good. If we click on these, it'll actually take us to a web page where we can, I'll just minimize that down, where we can actually have a look at what they're talking about with the AI living world, the traffic injection. So what's really important with this, I think, is to have a look at the way you need to set up your game. So if we have a quick cheeky look down through here, where are we? what should my Microsoft Flight Simulator settings be? So let's jump to that. And you can see here, it gives us two lots of options depending on 2020 or 2024. So I'm running 2024 for today's video. So we're going to want air traffic type off. We're then going to want air traffic in career off, multiplayer off, show multiplayer aircraft in proximity off, rendering quality. So these are graphics settings we're in now. We want to make sure that the traffic airport quality is off, and then the air traffic for global rendering quality is also off. Once you've done that, you should be good, unless you're running, as they say here, any other little add-ins for any type of traffic injection, and you should be good to go. So let's now jump into the game. And my gosh, we're going to take off from Melbourne Airport, and we're actually at Melbourne International. So a bit scary for me, because I'm used to flying in the bush planes, and I don't do a lot of main airport flying. But we're taking off from Melbourne International, so go easy on me. And we're going to go for a fly out to an island that my business partner goes out to once a year, ironically. He's got a mate out there, and it's called French Island. And it's a really cool little place. So we'll find a spot for a bush landing, and that'll round us out. So let's radio tower, and my gosh, let's test out the traffic injection from Sayintentions.AI. Right, here we are, Melbourne Airport. So we can see we've got traffic, and that is not multiplayer. That is real AI injected traffic flying around. And yeah, this is going to be wild. So we're taking off from Melbourne International Airport. We are going to be flying to a little place called French Island. And yeah, we'll do a bush landing. So a short hop, but good enough for us to have a play and an experiment. So let's get tower on the line and radio for a runway for departure. So we'll jump to Sayintentions here. Just check what frequency we need to be on. Tower is 120.5, so we will quickly punch that into the radio. 120.5. We'll commit that, and let's get tower on the radio. Melbourne Tower, experimental Charlie Mike Bravo. We are requesting runway for departure, heading to French Island. This is why I love Sayintentions, because for me, I'm a real noob. This really helps having this stuff.
Experimental 3 Mike Bravo, runway 09er, wind 020 at 17. Cleared for takeoff.
That's good Aussie accent. Melbourne Tower, experimental Charlie Mike Bravo, understood. Okay, so we are at runway 09er. Let's have a look. Oh, we had our flight planner up already, so 09er. Where is 09er? Is it up that end there? No, that's 16. Bet you it's right at the other end there. Okay, so 09er, we've got to make our way to that. All right, so let's taxi out, and we will get back on radio once we have arrived at the takeoff point. Now, something I'll talk about real quick while we're taxiing is the ability to try this out now, even though it's in alpha, super early days. As mentioned in the intro, it's a $50 payment, or it's a one-time fee. As long as you've got the premium subscription, you can pay that fee and actually have access to this right now and be a part of the community, helping to iron out all the bugs and get everything working really smooth. But they are going to be bringing the premium or the traffic injection to premium, so you're not going to need to pay that one-time fee in the future. And there's also talk of them bringing these incredible tools like the traffic injection to Entourage. Now, Entourage has no monthly subscription, and I encourage anyone who's even remotely interested in the AI ATC traffic, by all means, get the 24-hour free trial. You can download Sayintentions and try it for free. The timer basically starts from your very first transmission. But Entourage is a one-time payment. There's no monthly subscription, and that'll at least give you some exposure to the AI ATC. So I'm just trying to. Well, actually, we might just radio here. I wonder if we need to radio for clearance to cross that. I actually don't know. So if anyone knows, put it in the comments. Should I be radioing permission to cross over this? Yep, this is the right way. We're heading down here. Whew. Man, gets confusing at the international airports. But yeah, as I was saying...
726, wind 020 at 17, runway 34, cleared to land.
Whew. Sweating bullets being here at an international airport.
Runway 34, velocity up 2 seconds.
All right, we are crossing over. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to radio anyway. Let's see what they say. Melbourne Tower, experimental Charlie Mike Bravo. We are just crossing over runway...
Experimental 3 Mike Bravo. Negative. You are not cleared to cross the runway. Please hold position and advise intention.
Wow. I was trying to look up the runway number. Oh, shish kebabs. Better get the park brake on. Okay. Whew, man. All right. This is awesome. Okay, so you do need to... It makes sense, right? Someone could be landing. So that's incredible. I hadn't told them the number yet, and they've pretty much said, no, you're not clear. So let's get them back on the radio now. I know what I'm doing. Or sort of. Melbourne Tower, experimental Charlie Mike Bravo. We are taxiing to runway 09, crossing runway 34. Whew, man, that was intense.
Experimental 3 Mike Bravo. Taxi to runway 09 via taxiway Alpha. Hold short of runway 34. Contact ground on 121.7 for crossing clearance.
Okay. So we need to switch frequencies here. What are we doing? We're contact ground on 121.7. Okay. This is really cool. I've not normally done this stuff, so this is all new to me. 121.7. Oh, actually. Melbourne Tower, experimental Charlie Mike Bravo, understood. Decimal 7. Melbourne ground, experimental Charlie Mike Bravo. We are taxiing to runway 09, requesting runway crossing on runway 34.
Experimental 3 Mike Bravo, taxi to runway 9 via Echo, Alpha, Foxtrot, Echo, cross runway 34, then Mike. Contact tower on 120.5 when ready for departure.
Melbourne ground, experimental Charlie Mike Bravo, understood. Okay, I think that's... Whoa! Hang on. That wasn't scripted. We just had a massive Boeing 747 or something come past. Anyway, it's Alpha, right? So, you know, let's not get too picky. All right, let's go. Let's get across before we get squished. Okay, I'll get my map back up here. Okay, we're almost at runway 09, so we're going to get Melbourne Tower on the line again and hold short of runway 09 as instructed, and then request departure. Melbourne Tower, experimental Charlie Mike Bravo. We are holding short of runway 09, ready for departure.
Experimental Hotel 3 Mike Bravo, Melbourne Tower, runway 09, wind 020 at 17, gusting 27, cleared for takeoff.
Okay, so let's have a look where French Island is. That is French Island just down there, so we are good to go. And we are up. Beautiful morning in Melbourne, typical Melbourne weather. It's about 7 a.m. we haven't been given instructions on an altitude or a heading, but you know, I'm assuming we just fly level with the runway, flaps up. But I'm sure we will get a radio communication from tower soon. So we're just doing a nice steady climb here, and then we will back south once we climb to we'll climb up to about 4,000. I'll just trim around a bit here. Fair bit of cloud cover around. But look at that, look at the injected traffic there. That is just so cool. That is really, really cool. You just saw one of them pop out then. I have seen that where they'll sort of pop in, pop out every now and then. But again, it is early days. So we're almost at 3,000. We might actually just start banking south as we continue our climb.
All aircraft, information Golf is our current, QNH 1022.
Now we just climbed up a bit higher there to about 6, almost just starting to level out at 6.4, just to get up above this cloud cover here, otherwise we'd be flying head on into it. So just trimming around a bit here, and we might just maintain altitude at just shy of 6.4. And here we are, French Island, so we are going to come in for a cheeky landing, and I'm actually thinking one of these open fields here might be the spot to come in. Yeah, that looks like probably our best spot for a landing. Fair bit of water around, so we might just bank right a little here, and then we'll line up for a nice central landing in that open area. What a great little island. So my business partner's actually trekked to this a number of times. He does some dog events and heads out here, and what a cool place. What a cool place. Alright, so we're just going to get half flaps here, just wash off a bit of airspeed. We're doing about 100 knots there, just at 1,200 feet. For those interested, I'm running the VP Force Rhino force feedback base. This thing is absolutely wild. Not only am I in a motion rig, but having the VP Force Rhino force feedback base, wow, does that add to the immersion in game. Wow, I'll tell you what, it's there is a lot of water around, that is for sure. Okay, so this looks like it's going to be us. We'll just come in over the trees here, and then we've got a nice clear line straight through there. Bit of a crosswind coming in from the east. Okay, we're just going to go full flaps there. We'll see if we can just really, really gently bring her in. Gosh, that water looks so good. It just looks so awesome. Okay. See if we can just float her in here. Bit of a bounce. We're down. Oh, 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 oh. Flaps up. Okay, and we have made it. Welcome to French Island. Oh, gosh. Here we are. Welcome to French Island. What a fantastic place. Gosh, look at the, look at, it almost looks like cotton, doesn't it? But we're in a field, and what an incredible place. So, yeah, we won't hang around too long. We'll get back in the air, and we're going to make our way back to Melbourne International and see what it's like interacting with the traffic, air traffic control, and coming in for a landing. Let's go. Okay, so we are making our way back from French Island now. We are about, oh gosh, I reckon 8 nautical miles from Melbourne International. So we're going to get them on the radio and just let them know our intentions. Melbourne International Tower, experimental Charlie Mike Bravo. We are approximately 8 nautical miles south, coming in for a landing. I don't know if that was right. I get so nervous.
Experimental 3 Mike Bravo. Enter less downwind for runway 34. Winds 020 at 18. Report when established on downwind. Experimental 3 Mike Bravo. Enter less downwind for runway 9er.
Interesting. So we got 2 lots of comms back then. Melbourne International, experimental Charlie Mike Bravo, understood. Downwind for runway 09er. We will radio on downwind. Okay, so we better have a quick look here at what's going on. So runway 09er is pretty much what we took off on. So we're going to want to enter a standard pattern and come in and around from this side here and land. So, okay, where are we? We're there. All right, so we're a little whiles away. We can still just focus on flying for now, and we'll radio when we're in that standard pattern and downwind. So we might start making our turn, and we're going to actually start dropping some altitude here.
Experimental 3 Mike Bravo, with 020 at 18, runway 34, cleared to land.
Melbourne International, experimental Charlie Mike Bravo, understood. Okay, so let's get the mess out of the way, and let's try and not completely make a mess of this. So we might actually get the map up out of the way. We are just going to focus on our landing here. Again, don't judge me on my flying. I've got to confess, I'm bloody nervous. Right, so we're just washing off some airspeed here. That was a pretty terrible approach, but we're in a bush plane, right? We can we could land on a dime. It's a pretty aggressive approach here. Might just wash off a bit more speed. We've gone full flaps. Just try to get myself lined up. Oh man, we have got, look at that. Is that going to hold? We've got a massive airliner there.
Over to departure, velocity 217.
That's crazy. They are actually holding short for us. Look at this. Oh no, it's going? No. I mean, this is the AI injected traffic, so it should actually hold. It's edging forward. Stay there. Is it going to stay there? No. Look at it. Look at it. You're not allowed. I'm coming in. Keep the brakes on. Man, it held. It did look like it was going to, but it did. Oh, we are coming in. Look at the size of the runway compared to my bush plane. I could probably land on this with my eyes closed. Right. Just floating in. I was floating her in. Okay, that was a touchdown. Probably a bounce down. Can you bring her in? Come on. Okay, and we're down. Whew. All right, flaps up. We have made it, people. My goodness.
Experimental 3 Mike Bravo. Welcome to Melbourne. Contact ground on 121 decimal status.
121.7. So, because it's got the trainer wheels on, it has squirted that in. Hang on. Oh, I've lost rudder. Oh. Okay, that was a glitch. Melbourne International, Experimental Charlie Mike Bravo, understood. Contacted ground on 121.7. Melbourne ground, Experimental Charlie Mike Bravo. We are taxiing to a parking bay, I guess. Looking for an exit right now. So let's get
Mental Hotel 3 Mike Bravo, Melbourne ground, taxi to General Aviation parking by Echo Victor Golf Victor Yankee. Good day.
733, request pushback.
now. Look, in the absence of me knowing.
733, push and start approved.
Holy snap!
Pushback approved. Velocity 733.
Look at that. That is the AI that's right in front of us. How bloody cool is that? Look at that Airbus. That is sick. Wow, that is so cool. That is an AI generated aircraft from Sayintentions. Damn. That is fantastic. That is fantastic, and you can see it on the map there. That is super cool. Melbourne ground, Experimental Charlie Mike Bravo. We have arrived at parking bay and we are shutting down. Whatever, let's shut it down. Oh, better get the handbrake off.
Experimental 3 Mike Bravo, Roger. Thank you for the update. Have a great day.
That was fantastic. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next video.